Yeah, sir. You might want to send a maintenance man over to that office across the way. The lights are off and they must be looking for a fuse box or something because them flashlights, they're keeping me awake. Thank you. Good night.
Therefore, I shall resign the presidency effective at noon tomorrow. Vice President Ford will be sworn in as president at that hour in this office.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us on the Washington Post. This morning we're here to talk about the Watergate incident. And in case you don't already know what that is, it is when 5 burglars broke into the DNC looking for election-related documents and intended on hooking bugs onto the phone lines. They were trying to receive information on the election illegally. Now, even before the Watergate, though, when Nixon came into power, it had seemed that the executive branch was becoming more superior than the judicial and the legislative branch of government. He even said, as Nixon himself,
"A president must not be one of the crowd. People don't want him to say, 'Oh look, I'm the same as you.'"
it seems that the judicial and legislative branch of government are cracking under the weight of the executive branch. Wow, well that joke just cracked me up. Cut.
Nixon was thirsty for power. Along with his 4 fiercely loyal advisors. One of those advisors had the name of Haldeman. Haldeman had incriminating documents in his office, which later Nixon administration workers went in there to shred. Haldeman also wrote in his diary about how obsessed Nixon was with responding about the burglary. Nixon consented to the termination of the investigation of the Watergate incident.
Nixon, we need you to cancel the Watergate investigation. Do you have permission for us to tell the FBI to terminate the investigation?
Yes.
FBI, this is the CIA. We have permission for you to terminate your investigation on the Watergate incident.
Roger that. I will call off the troops. Hold on. I'll call the troops. Agents, we must halt all of our investigations on the Watergate incident. The CRP, who was in charge of the burglary, passed out $450,000 to the DNC burglars, the Watergate burglars. Seems a little fishy. However, most media took little interest in the Watergate incident.
You suck!
Oh! Oh God! Cut. Oh, breaking news. It seems that James McCord has just confessed to lying under oath. He is involved with the CRP, the people in charge of the burglary. And now all the other men involved are one by one confessing to being involved with the scandal. They are also hinting that there is a White House cover-up and that Nixon is also deeply deeply involved. One man named Alexander Butterfield told about how Nixon had recorded all this presidential conversation. Apparently it was for the point of reviewing it later for his memoirs. Many prosecutors tried to get the tapes released by Nixon, but he would never let them go, not even when the Supreme Court demanded him to. Nixon eventually released some edited tapes, but people were not. Nixon, we need those tapes and you need to give it to us now.
No!
Yes.
No!
Yes.
I'm not giving them to you!
Nixon!
Fine.
Nixon proclaimed he was not a crook.
And I want to say this to the television audience. I made my mistakes, but in all of my years of public life, I have never profited from public service. I've earned every cent. And in all of my years of public life, I have never obstructed justice. And I think, too, that I can say that in my years of public life, that I welcome this kind of examination, because people have got to know whether or not their president is a crook. Well, I'm not a crook. I've earned everything I've got.
3 orders of impeachment were eventually given to Nixon, even though he withheld the tapes. 1 was obstruction of justice, 2 was the abuse of power, and 3 was the contempt for Congress for holding back the tapes.
Oh, Nixon, you've been lying all this time, Nixon. Hey, Nixon. Oh, Nixon, you've been lying all this time, Nixon. Hey, Nixon. Oh, Nixon, you're a shame, you're the one to blame. Broken in July when you had no alibi. Oh, Nixon, you're so shady, won't you understand?
Guys like you, Nixon. What you do, Nixon, Nixon. Don't break our trust, Nixon. Washington Post, signing out.